Is the Harley Davidson Screamin Eagle Stage 1 really worth the money? Can you get real gains using Harley Davidson Screamin Eagle performance parts? Well, we're going to take a look at that in this video. And if you've already did a Stage 1, make sure you stay tuned because I'm going to show you the cheapest upgrade I did that got me the most performance on the dyno. Chances are you haven't done this and you're leaving some performance on the table still. Hi, I'm Mike and welcome back to the channel where we talk about riding, wrenching, reviews, and Harley Davidson news. If you dig this content, don't forget to subscribe, ring that bell so you'll be notified next time I drop a new video. Now let's get into it. So when a company, Harley Davidson, Indian, all of them, when they give you specs, Honda for horsepower and torque, those specs are measured at the crank, not at the rear wheel. What we'll be talking about today are rear wheel numbers measured on a dyno. All the dynos I had done were done at the same facility who has an enclosed room, who does their best to keep the conditions consistent. Numbers can vary from dyno to dyno. So I could dyno tune this bike and get a number, and then I could go to a rally and get a run done and get a different number. It doesn't mean that the dyno is different. It means the engine's performing different under different conditions. Humidity, altitude, all those things can affect performance. So instead of focusing on what numbers I got, focus on what gains I got and what it cost to get there. In this video, we did a dyno run when the bike was bone stock. Then I bought some slip-ons and we did another dyno run. Then I installed the Screamin Eagle wedge air cleaner and I put on the Screamin Eagle Pro Street tuner. Now I did an auto tune myself and then we do a dyno run of that. And then the dealership does a dyno tune with that tuner and they do another run on that, and we'll have all those numbers for you in this video, and we'll show you those gains and what it cost me to get there. Now, the spec sheet for the 2024 Street Glide like I have is going to be the same as the newer Road Glides. They're going to have the same 105 horsepower and 130 foot-pounds of torque spec on the sheet, because that's what you're going to get with this 117 center-cooled Milwaukee engine. Now, the new Limiteds and the new Trikes are going to have a little more torque. This is not a variable valve timing engine. Those are. And of course, the CVOs are running 121s, some with variable valve timing. And then the ST is a non-VVT version. It's a high output version. So the numbers we're talking about here today differ from bikes and versions of the motor, but these performance increases should be relatively the same if you were to do this on a slightly different bike. Now, before I share my first dyno with you, I went out to Fuel Moto's website. They have a whole bunch of dyno runs out there, and they had one for a stock 2024 Road Glide. So here's what they got. And you can see max torque was 101 foot-pounds and horsepower was like 84. Now I'm going to throw up my dyno run, and my dyno run came up at 110 foot-pounds stock and 84 horsepower. So for whatever reason, difference in dyno or difference in the conditions, I got more torque than they did. But again, we're going to focus on the gains, not the actual numbers. Now, before we go do the full Stage 1, we're going to talk about the slip-ons a little bit. Some people say you don't need to do a tuner with full exhaust. I did not do full exhaust. I only did slip-ons. I did not do a tuner with it. And we just ran it after I put slip-ons on. And I went with tab performance with the zombie baffles because I love the sound of those. I've had high-performance racing exhaust on a Harley Davidson before. My 2016 is running high-performance Roush racing exhaust with no cat. And while the bike performs great and I got really good numbers, the sound was never anything too exciting and nobody else really was impressed with the sound. Nobody, oh, wow, check out that exhaust. And that's fine. It wasn't for them. But I want you to get that I understand that I'm giving up performance maybe when I choose something like the zombie baffles in the tab slip-ons, but that's a choice I knowingly made. I didn't expect to get better improvement out of those zombie baffles. And as you'll see here, we actually lost just a little bit on the torque side. Most notably, between the 2,000 and 3,000 RPM range, you can see we lost a little bit of torque there. Now, will I notice 5 foot-pounds of torque in the dyno ass meter? Probably not, because we're talking about 5% there. Probably not going to see a difference. I love the sound. My wife loves the sound. It fits what I was going for with the bike. So I spent $500 and I lost performance. And that's okay. And some people are going to say, well, how'd you get slip-ons for $500? Black Friday deal at Teddy Morris Renegade Harley Davidson. I bought them for $500. Normally, you're looking at, I think, $6.99 for tab slip-ons, but I had $500 in them in mind, and I'm going to use the numbers of what I actually spent. Now, let's get into the full stage one. So over the winter, I installed the High Flow Edge Screamin Eagle air cleaner here. That's about $550. Now, if you're going to do an air cleaner and exhaust, you really need to do a tune. So I did the Screamin Eagle Pro Street tuner at the same time, which was about $450. So it's going to run you about $1,000 for this air cleaner and tuner. There are other air cleaners options out there. I'm just showing you what I used and what I got. The reason I'm doing Screamin Eagle parts is because when I bought this 2024 Street Glide, it's the first year of the new Helix platform on the Street Glide, I had a little bit of concerns about reliability. Not so much the motor, but the electronics and things like that. But I bought a 3-year warranty, and I want to keep that warranty intact. And so I'm not going to run an aftermarket ECU or anything else like that yet, because I don't want to void the factory warranty. So that's why we're focusing on the Screamin Eagle parts in this video. Now, I put all the stuff on myself, so I'm not counting any labor expenses. If you have to have someone install this for you, you're going to have labor expenses on top of that. But now I've got $1,500 in an air cleaner, a tuner, and slip-ons. Before we go to the dyno run, I want to talk about what else I gained besides just numbers by doing this upgrade. Better throttle response and better fuel economy. My miles per gallon actually went up. I think the exhaust even sounds a little better because the motor can breathe better with more air coming in. Now, let's put it on the dyno and show you what we get. Now, after the auto tune, I had 115 foot-pounds of torque and 95 horsepower. So in reality, I only gained about 5 foot-pounds of torque over stock, but I did gain 10 horsepower. That means it cost me $300 for every foot-pound of torque, and I got 10 horsepower, so about $150 for every horsepower I gained. Now, if you look at the lines through my torque curve on the dyno sheet, you'll see it doesn't dip at 4,800 RPM anymore. And my horsepower curve looks a lot smoother and doesn't fall off at the 4,800 RPM range. Now remember, this was based off my auto tuning. You could do a better job with auto tuning, or you could do a worse job with auto tuning, so your results may be different as well, just based on how much time and effort you put into the auto tuning. Now here's the big deal. Now, I didn't know this before I talked to Renegade, but they can do a dyno tune with the Screamin Eagle Street Tuner. Now you might think, why would I want to do that if I've already auto-tuned it? Well, I can tell you, and you're going to see the numbers, that I got a lot bigger performance increase by having them dyno tune it versus my auto tune. Now Renegade said for them to do a dyno tune like you're about to see, it's normally about $200, and that's if you already have everything installed. Of course, if they've got installed a tuner and things like that for you, it's going to be more. And your shop may have a different labor rate, they may have a different charge. I can't guarantee that you're going to pay $200, but you can tell them that you've heard of dealerships doing it for around that price, and you want to know what they'll do it for. See what they'll give you for a quote. All right, let's do the dyno run. All right, so they just did the dyno run, and we're going to pull up the dyno sheet here. All right, look at that. So here's my graph, and anytime you see a big gap from your before and after numbers, that's something to be excited about. I got a big gain for $200. I mean, I was spending almost $200 to get 1 horsepower with these other upgrades. I gained 15 foot-pounds of torque. That was like $10 per foot-pound at the dyno level. So for my $200, I went from 115 foot-pounds of torque to 130 foot-pounds of torque. That's going to be noticeable on the dyno ass meter for sure. So the horsepower started at 95 from my auto tune, and we ended up at 109. So I gained 14 horsepower from this same $200 upgrade. Now I want to thank Teddy Morris Renegade Harley Davidson for donating their time to do the dyno runs. They did that so that I could make this video and show you stock, slip-ons, stage 1 auto tune, and then dyno tuned stage 1. Using Harley Davidson Screamin Eagle performance parts that do not void your warranty. So in the end, what I did would run about $1,700. And I went from 110 foot-pounds of torque to 130 foot-pounds of torque. That's a hefty 20 foot-pounds of torque. So in the end, the cost was about $85 per foot-pound gained. I started with 84 horsepower and ended with 109. When gaining 25 horsepower, the math comes out to $68 per horsepower at the $1,700 price mark. Now I know someone is going to tell me in the comments that I could get a Power Vision, Dyno Jet, Thunder Max, impact wiring, one of these other tuners, and I could get even more gains. And I don't disagree with you. And Harley Davidson dealerships like Teddy Morris will tell you the same thing. But if you put one of those other ECUs in, like Thunder Max or impact wiring, you're going to void the warranty. They're going to know in the computer that you did it. Harley's getting better and better about keeping track of that stuff. These bikes have Wi-Fi. You never know what kind of data is being collected and stored in the computer. All right, guys, I am considering putting a Screamin Eagle like the 511 cam in here that's in the 121s. That'll continue to keep my warranty intact. And we can see what kind of numbers we can get out of a Screamin Eagle Stage 2 while still maintaining warranty. If that's something you'd like to see, leave me a comment down below. Give this video a big thumbs up. Share it with all your friends. The better the video does, probably the more affordable it'll make it for me to do something like that. Now, I've never done a Stage 2. I've never put a cam in a Harley. I've got one that has had it done, but it was that way when I bought it. So I haven't decided if I'm going to do the high volume oil pump and the support plate. You guys leave me a comment, especially if you're familiar with this process, and tell me, do you think it's worth the additional money? Would you do it if you were doing it? Would you not put money into Screamin Eagle performance parts and you go totally aftermarket? I want to know how you're doing it, what you would do. Obviously, I've told you the reasons why I did mine this way and why I'm going to keep down this path a little longer. And we'll see where it goes. If you guys like this video, don't forget to smash the big thumbs up. As always, y'all stay safe and keep on riding. We'll see you in the next one.